Students.
And just so you know, I can't watch the chat this week because that would be illegal.
Oh, you could. You're just
All
running
right.
on the
I
road.
said it would be illegal.
But you said you can't.
We are live.
Right on.
Good afternoon, everyone. We're just busy setting up here, so we'll come in a second. Welcome to Dollars and Cents.
Money, money, money. There we go.
Making sense of your dollars.
Yes.
Yes.
Indeed.
Bringing knowledge and opportunity to those in the community.
Everybody's got a line. I should have come with one, man. What?
Listen, I'm telling you.
Oh, yeah. Let me see this.
All right.
Share.
Greetings to the 8 folks watching so far. Welcome
Sweet.
back again. Yeah, we are back. Myself, Keisha, RTS Mortgage Financial, Wade, the other financial guru here, and the greatest guru of them all.
Yeah.
Adriana Leo.
Adriana.
Careful now.
The money navigator.
Vroom, vroom, right, Wade?
Room indeed.
You know you're bad. You know you're bad. You know, she's breaking ground here, you know. Adri's breaking ground. You know why? Because she's not the first guest, but she's the first guest to come back twice.
Oh, right. That's right.
No way. You guys should have told me that, man. I would have bigged this up. I would have put my crown, my tiara.
I know.
And you know, it's not on us. It's the people that demanded this, right?
That's right.
Right? The money navigator is back because our chat was just buzzing during and after.
Yeah, seriously. All kinds of questions.
That's because she's just driving that finance, man. Driving.
Zoom. Yeah, man. Yeah. No kidding. Well, I'm here to answer the call of the people, so do my thing.
All right, so we are gonna cue some things up.
Oh, so speaking of answering the call of the people,
yeah.
I guess with this wee controversy or however you say that, that somebody had to take a jump.
Somebody's gotta go.
He's being on somebody to take a jump.
Next gotta roll.
Okay, someone had to take a fall.
Yes, agreed.
And we have a new
finance minister.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yes, indeed.
Miss Christia Freeland.
Freeland, the first female finance minister.
First female.
You know the first Canada. You guys might have to fact check me on this, but I think Canada's first and only female prime minister was the result of another such resignation type thing, and somebody filled in. We haven't actually had anybody elected to the polls.
Are you talking about Kim Campbell?
Yeah, that one.
Okay. I won't look it up then. I was gonna look it up.
No, it's her. I think in the same way. With Christia coming in and filling the shoes, it's almost not as sweet because she was not originally chosen. You know what I mean? So I'm like, okay, so somebody's neck had to kind of take the brunt of this wee thing. So let's put a nice face in there to see, let's put her in and see how she can do, what she can do, how she can manage. I love that she's there.
Right, but remember that she was at the table with the NAFTA negotiations, right?
She was,
so
and she had some strong words.
Thing or two. Oh yeah.
Negotiate the agreement that replaced NAFTA, which is better preparation for the finance minister than anybody would have gotten on Bay Street. Okay.
Yeah, a lot of spin in this, but I'm happy to see somebody in there that's female. But let's see where we go from here. Everything is strategic. I said enough. I gonna stop talking now.
Yeah, but there was a lot of controversy. There was a controversy because there was stuff brewing between the previous finance minister with the prime minister. She is still, I thought she, when she takes this position, or she took this position, that she would vacate the other one, but she's still the deputy prime minister.
As far as I know, yeah.
Okay.
It's not unusual to have the deputy minister in a finance position, but she had other portfolios. They're going to do a shuffle. I want to see, like, how do we prove, how do we kind of measure her performance going forward? Is it that as long as she stays free of scandal, she's done a great job? Is that the measuring stick these days? Or can she actually do something?
Right, because when you look at it, it's a very crucial time for our country right now, especially going through a pandemic, and then all the money that they gave out in CERB and SUS, whatever that word is.
Yes, that one.
That was it, right? SUS, CWS, wage subsidy. Yeah, all that money, they gotta get that money back. I mean, they have to rebuild the reserves.
But she does not have any direct financial services experience. She does not. That's not her direct background. So she really is going to have to prove herself. It may well be a steep learning curve for her. Not impossible, but.
Yeah, which is what Mark Gollum is saying here, the one who wrote this article here. That's what he's, of course, it's right there. He posed the question, right? Does it matter?
It doesn't matter.
Yeah, true.
So we'll watch and see.
We all watching and seeing.
How this will affect us, people that look like us.
True. Because she don't look like me. Her eyes blue. Her hair straight.
Not at all.
I have some blonde in here, but not that.
Yes,
we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, Freeland.
Yeah.
All right.
We wait and see.
Let's queue up another topic.
Wonder if she'll take that stress test out.
Boy, tell me about it. Oh my.
Scotiabank to pay $127 million in fines for traders' price fixing of precious metals.
Got him. Got caught.
Yeah, those are the ones that got caught. There's a whole other batch of them doing the same thing.
Yeah. Right.
So
they've agreed to pay it and invest into price manipulation scheme in the price of precious metals that some of its traders were engaged in.
Wow.
Yeah. And that $127 million, that's nothing. I'm sorry. In a sector where you have these banks reporting billions of dollars in profit, giving out 127 in fines, that's nothing. I'm sorry.
Stop in the ocean.
How much did they get? How much? 127 million?
That's the fine.
That's what they're paying.
So how much did they make to
that? It doesn't say, but like Hadri said. Oh, look, okay, let's see here. The fines consists of 60 million to the Department of Justice. The remainder going to CFTC in the form of
penalties.
Penalties, yeah.
Yeah.
They've already forced to pay out 800,000 US in 2018. What?
This is not recent. The finding and the penalty is now.
Okay.
But this is stuff that's happened before. These things move so slow.
Yeah.
No wonder we forget about them and just park it away.
Right. The whole thing is that how much money did they make since then?
Every quarter when you listen to the financial reports, the top five, the big five banks are reporting profits, not revenues, profits in the billions. I said billions. So this, as far as I'm concerned, is nothing. It's a slap on the wrist because it continues. Mm-hmm. If they had stopped doing it, or if the fines were heftier, then they would ensure that it stopped.
Yeah.
Basically, this is just a cost of doing business. Next, move on. That's all essentially what it is.
Essentially. Yeah. And they're not price fixing for people like us either. They're not telling us, you know what, the price is going to hold steady. Don't bother investing. They're leaving us out in the cold. So I don't care really.
They'll be all right.
Yeah. What does that mean for the little man though? What does that mean?
When they do stuff like this, when they have to pay. Oh, you're okay. I guess he's meeting up on interference problems now.
He's switching cell towers. That's what's happening.
Oh, okay.
I think. I don't know.
The
Yeah, right over there.
Oh, over there.
It's right there. Can you see it?
No. But keep looking straight, please.
But to Wade's question though, I mean, when they have to pay out these fines, do they find some sneaky way of passing on, you know, their problems to us?
All they do is they give you less interest on your savings and they charge more interest on your borrowing.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's it. The rates are going to move. It does not take a large swing in interest rates to make that back, because you have to remember, like 0.1%, 0.01% swing in an interest rate for a loan you might not feel it as the individual consumer, but multiply that by millions of consumers across the country.
Exactly.
That, I mean, they've just made that back and then some, because remember, every dollar you put into the bank is using that to invest. They are allowed to do that.
And to give back to you on credit cards.
And yes, they give back to you the minimal amount of interest to grow your account, and they keep all the rest. And then they're going to charge you to borrow your own money. And if you pay it back late, well, you have to pay interest. So it's a win-win. It's a brilliant business model. You cannot fault that.
Yes. All right. Oh, so Scotia got slapped.
Yeah.
Wah, 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 wah.
Yeah.
So average Canadian house prices rose 14%.
All right, let's talk about that.
Boy.
Home
everywhere.
sales increased by 25%.
During a pandemic?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Prices went up 14 and there's 25% more sales. Did I read that right? At the top.
Top, yeah. 20%.
So sales increased by 25 and prices have gone up in July to July, I'm guessing. Up to July.
Is it month over month or is it year over year?
It seems to be in year up to July. That's what I'm seeing there.
Because I could understand the 25% increase.
The July figure was 26% higher than June's figure.
Yeah, month over month. Okay. So it's
This picture right here plus the caption, a realtor wearing a protective mask uses a smartphone to provide a virtual video tour. So that's when you know that things are really good, even with a virtual tour.
Yep.
No, for real. Because what's happening is that in June, July, the province started reopening, right?
Yeah.
And so people are going out more, people are getting more comfortable going out and purchasing homes. And possibly, and then you have bidding wars going on as well, right?
Yeah.
And so hence the price.
Yeah, the prices are going up, but I think the prices going up reflects the fact that there isn't enough inventory on the market. At least that's what my realtor people have been saying.
Okay.
But that might resolve itself because remember, with COVID, the timing of the pandemic kind of just delayed the typical spring market. So instead of having a hot market March, April, May, the heat kind of got pushed to June, July, and now August. But there's still not a lot of inventory because people are still hesitant to have strangers come into their house and touch their stuff. I wouldn't want to.
Right. Well, you see, everything got delayed because of the pandemic. Everything got pushed later because right now we're just going through the Raptors playoffs, you know.
Someone's excited. Oh, boy.
Let's go, Masai. Let's go. Winning the win on the court.
Did you guys see the post, the video?
Yes.
Did y'all talk about that yet?
Shameless plug here, but I did a video on it.
Yeah.
I have a YouTube channel called No Justice, No.
Sorry, I don't believe I saw it. Which one?
No,
remember the story with the police officer,
the sheriff or whoever.
He's a deputy.
Oh, the one that pushed Masai.
Yeah.
Oh yes.
No,
so the video came out basically showing because he was like lying. One, he was claiming damages and he can't work.
Yeah, wasn't he suing?
Oh
Masai?
suing a whole bunch of things. Come to find out, and I couldn't believe it because I think it was his body camera.
So blatant.
It was his body camera. He pushed Masai twice, like grabbed him the first time and pushed him. Then Masai was explaining, "Hey, I'm the president. I'm the president of Raptors basketball operations." The man pushed Masai and was like swearing at him, "Get the blank out of here," and all. And they're saying, so of course now Masai. So the story that we were getting, however, is that Masai was the one who
right. That was the story. That was the story.
Pushing him. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Mr. And you see, that's why these police officers, and usually when you see them behaving like this, you and it just doesn't make any sense. Why would he be reacting this way?
Yep.
So the media did some digging. He has some problems in his record, eh?
Duh.
Fraud. He's committed fraud before.
Oh, has he?
Yes. Yeah.
Ah, I see.
And remember, the police departments, they were supporting him, but they had the video. They had the video, and they were still supporting him.
It always makes me wonder.
Say that again.
Go on, Wade.
This is coming from our crack social justice reporter, KP. Just have to put that in there.
I don't believe I stopped what I was saying for you to get that in.
Man,
that was a little plug. Yeah.
It's all good. But you know what? We really have to be careful about the opinions we carry around about the things that end up on mainstream media, because a lot of times the whole story does not get told. So we're looking at all of these articles, we're looking at these things. There's so many pieces moving behind the scenes that we have no idea about, yet we hold such strong opinions.
Yeah.
Sometimes based on error, man.
Good old video evidence, I'm telling you.
I tell you.
Go Raptors, that's all I gotta say. Go Raptors.
Yeah. But even the black man that has money, obviously he's got good threads. I mean, the guy wasn't wearing riffraff.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
This is a...
You gotta understand, the police officer, his team just lost, so
Is that how it goes?
He was kind of salty. I get you.
Okay. That's what we call it now. Salty.
Yeah.
It's all good.
We can jump in because we have a couple more things that we could bring out, but we don't have to. We can jump into other things that we're gonna deal with.
Yes,
for sure.
Let's move into our next segment.
Yes, we have the Money Navigator back, Miss Adriana Leo, and as I said earlier, she had a lot of questions that she was answering.
Yeah.
And people were they liked what you were saying last time, and they wanted to hear more. So you're back. I'm
back. You know what? I'm going to piggyback off of some stuff I did. In fact, one of the articles, because I think for most of us in our community, the idea of trading and stocks and all of that is really, really, you know what? It's foreign to us. I think
very foreign.
Foreign to us entirely. I remember when I came to Canada already an adult, and I didn't get what was happening with this markets business. You back home, you watch CNN and you see all these things going across the screen with abbreviations and whatever. You just listen to the news and that's it. But when Wade was talking about what does that mean for the little man, the price fixing might not apply necessarily to the small man or those of us that have maybe $500 to invest. But I think everybody needs to understand our public trading markets. You don't have to be an active player in it. There are lots of other ways to participate and invest and grow your money. But I think we need to understand it because there's a lot of plays, there's a lot of opportunities. There are so many ways we can leverage that knowledge to improve ourselves. And it doesn't take a lot. I do this workshop, Investing 101. I don't do it, I don't market it, because I no longer sell product and all that. I don't maintain my license, so I can't tell you what to buy.
Right.
But I think the need is absolutely there for us to understand investing. And the most recently, I did it for a group of really engaged women. And the questions were so on point. Like, how do you read the reports? Because I'm talking about, if you want to participate in the markets, you need to be able to make sense of this. Go on.
If I could interrupt you there, but a lot of times too, Hadri, that question that was posed to you goes to the heart of it. I applaud the person who asked that question, because that's what's intimidating. Sometimes people don't even know what questions to ask. They feel ashamed for asking. Maybe it's something that is general information. It's in our media, it's on the news, or whatever the case is, and I'm supposed to know. And I may appear, to look not smart or whatever the case is. And there are a lot of things are wrapped into it in terms of that question that was posed.
But that fear kind of keeps us in ignorance.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
Yes.
I think I mentioned that last time. For me personally, I kind of had to build a seat for myself at the tables where these discussions were happening, because it wasn't happening in my social circles. People were not talking about the fact that with as little as $25 a month, you can be buying Apple stock. Why can't I? Right? People are thinking, oh, but Apple's $500. You can participate in Apple's profits with as little as $25 a month. Why not? And no one's telling us that. But and it doesn't have to be prohibitive. Like, you don't have to turn into this super trader, sitting at your computer with 4 different screens and have tickers going here and there. That's fun, actually. But you don't have to be that to participate in it. And it is accessible to all of us. So I always say, if you don't have an advisor, I think you should get one. That's not the only way to participate. That's what I was going to ask you.
Where would they start? Where would they start in terms of?
I'd say, and I'm throwing it out there, I do the Investing 101 for free. If your people want to organize a group, I'm happy to do it. The session runs about an hour and a half. But I say, one, start with getting an advisor. And just like in Dragon's Den, I use that analogy to explain to people where the power is. Your advisor does not have the power position. You have the power. No advisor can make you do anything you don't want to do. And when I tell you, if you don't understand, your money not moving. I'm telling you straight. If you ask an advisor a question, and I'm speaking especially to the ladies, but the guys too. If you sit at that meeting and you ask your advisor a question and they say, don't worry about it, you wouldn't understand, tell them, Hadriana said I had to take my bag and leave. Because it is their,
you need to understand.
Their obligation to ensure that you understand. And it because I was the advisor, I think I heard it all and I seen it all. And it just grates on me. But I say, get an advisor and start reading. Read. Open your ears and eyes to what's happening around. What does it mean that Scotia has paid fines because their traders were price fixing? There's a whole lot into that says to us, okay, they can't fix the price. Who is the trader, and what role does the trader have in this? And what does that mean for me? Like, how does it trickle down to me? But we have to participate. We have to open our ears and our eyes, and we got to jump in, man. There's a lot of opportunity for the right people. And there are so many different ways to participate. Like, you don't only have to buy stock. You see all of the malls that you see around and about the place, like Cadillac, Fairview, and all of these guys, a lot of times we're in there spending our money, but we can buy shares of REITs, REITs. They are real estate investment trusts. These real estate investment trusts take the profits that these physical properties have, and they're now sharing it out to people because you've invested in it. So I always say, if it's a service that you always use, you better find a way to get your money out. So for example, if you every morning running through the drive-through and getting a Tim Hortons chai tea, no, not chai, peppermint tea, because you know, don't get coffee. Let's be facetious a little. Okay.
Chai, yes.
So if you're going through the drive-through every day and you're giving Tim Hortons your money, you need to find a way to get some money out of Tim Hortons, buy their stock. Right? We need to stop just throwing money at these people. We need to find a way to benefit from the fact that they're giving a service that, pandemic or not, there's still a lineup at Tiffany.
Huge lineup, yes.
What?
Wrap around
lineup. A longer lineup.
A longer lineup.
Because you have to be physically distant.
Oh, the cars, right?
I'm going to say, I remember in, I think it might have been my OAC year. I guess that was the grade 13 back in the day. I went to Westhill, and then my last year in OAC, I went to Pearson. And there was a teacher, was a math teacher. And there's one segment of that, that term that he dedicated to stocks. And, you know, he had the papers out and he said, you know, you guys are, one day you're probably going to need to know about this. You know, it actually wasn't a part of the curriculum. It was just him doing it.
Usually get that, yeah.
You know, I probably should have paid a little bit more attention, I will say, but the number one thing that I always remember was buy low, sell high. You know, what does that verbiage, you know, what does that verbiage mean? And, you know, how do we bring that to life, you know, for those who might not understand that?
Yeah, pretty much every time you see a sale, you get high volume, right? Even if, so the thing with having a sale, I don't know, what y'all like to buy? Shoes, bags, what y'all like to buy? Sunglasses? I don't know.
Sunglasses.
Okay, I'm totally using Wade's sunglasses right now. So when you go to the Sunglass Hut or whatever it is, you walk by that kiosk, and every day you walk by, you see that these sunglasses are available for $100. $100 sunglasses. You keep walking. One day you walk by and you see that it's available for $75. You have the $75 available. What are you going to do with that? You may choose to buy those sunglasses. The fact that the sunglasses are available for $75 doesn't change the fact that they are worth $100.
Exactly.
Right? So if you were looking at making that acquisition for investment purposes, your strategy would be, let me buy the $75, pay $75 for $100 glasses, hold on to it, and then after the sale is finished, I can sell that for $100. You've made $25, right? That's essentially what happens when we say buy low, sell high. But I think when it comes to shares and just investing overall, the idea of buying and selling is not always the best thing. And that's why I think we need an overall strategy that'll guide you and say, okay, if this situation happens, I buy, or if this scenario happens, I sell. You need to have some rules based on what you want to achieve that say to you, sell now or buy now. And it's not just a question of because they're selling for $100 now, you're going to sell it. Because chances are those same sunglasses, you guys ever go to them antique road shows and see the garbage they sell for like, oh, it's worth $7,000. Like where?
Yeah.
But that's because old stuff.
Yeah.
They even smell old.
Why you gotta be like that, Wade?
Oh, sorry. I mean antique.
Yes. Mosaic.
You mean other people's trash?
Vintage.
How about
vintage.
The private?
Yes,
the
vintage.
Private stocks.
The private what? The private art?
The private stocks. I mean, for instance, I think it was Snapchat was that it? I guess a lot of young people use that. There was a school that I guess the parents came together and they put some funds into Snapchat's private stock before it actually went live, or however that works. Went public, yeah. And the minute it went public, it was like, whoa, they millions or billions they made in that day. I was thinking, I was Googling and saying,
my goodness.
You know,
what's the next social media thing, Wade?
TikTok.
I was looking at WhatsApp. I was looking up all kind of things.
You know, that's one thing. That's one thing about the financial services news that I always say to when I was in it. Well, I always say to people thinking of investing, by the time they're reporting on it, you've missed it.
Yeah.
By the time they're reporting on it, you've missed it, which is why it's really good if you can have an insider. So I no longer trade myself, so I don't have access to a lot of the good stuff, but I'm telling you, I have this one portfolio manager that I meet with like twice a year at Fairview Mall. He pays for the Starbucks every time. I don't mind. But honestly, he gives me all the behind the scenes information that I would want to share. Right? And you understand what's moving. So here's a question I usually ask in Investing 101. BMW is a German car, right?
Yeah.
If you're thinking of investing in BMW stock, what are some of the things you would consider? What are some of the things you would think about if you're looking to buy BMW stock?
What's going on in Germany?
What's going on in Germany? What if I say to you, you need to be asking yourself what's going on in China?
Where the parts are made?
No, China is the biggest purchaser of BMWs in the world. So by the time BNN reports that BMW stock has lost value, you would be thinking, oh, what is this Ding Changchang doing politically in China that is suppressing the people or maybe locking down exports or imports, or the people are protesting and there's political unrest? Who thought that had anything to do with having a nice piece of metal on 4 wheels on the road? Right?
What's Mr. Xi Jinping doing?
You guys are prejudiced.
I had to stifle that.
I mean, no disrespect, but I'm like, what combination of sounds do I have to get this right? So I kind of just mumble it.
It's all right. We get you.
Yeah, we get you.
Yeah, seriously, it's like that. And then
no, but that is a huge tidbit, though. I mean, granted,
for sure.
I'm learning just like everybody else.
But you see, the thing is,
I wouldn't even think.
Go ahead.
No, I was gonna be on the same wavelength as Wade, as saying, okay, well, they make the parts in China, but you said no, they purchased it.
Yep, they have the purchase. Look at what happened with Canada Goose. Do you guys remember early last year, when Canada detained that Huawei executive in
Canada Goose went.
So China decided, okay, you guys want to mess with us? China blacklisted Canadian products. And Canada Goose was one of the easiest ones for them to blacklist because Canada was already right in the name. Canada Goose was not being bought by Chinese supporters and people in China. It had nothing to do with the value of the product. It had nothing to do with whether it was well made or manufactured. It had nothing to do with that. China just decided, zip my purse. Done.
Yes, done.
Listen. You think people who look like us learning anything? We are in every continent and by far huge contributors to the economies where we live. China has showed us that if we have enough people, we can cripple economies. Legit. Like, no kidding. I'm not saying to go start an economic war. I'm saying that there is power in the purse and how we wield it.
Yeah. And not only that, though, I mean, marketing companies, they strategically do their commercials to even target our culture because they know that we like to spend. A lot of research goes into some of their commercials to make sure that it's attracting our culture.
Absolutely. And we still think we are at their mercy.
So just before we pivot, Hadri, in terms of wrapping up the investment piece that you just mentioned there, so you just the basic thing you said, talk to your financial advisor.
Talk to an advisor. Start there.
Right.
Yeah.
Or get one.
Yeah.
Get one. Okay.
Get one.
Okay.
Get one. I have a nice little blog post I wrote on how to select an advisor. It's simple. It doesn't have to be complicated, but treat it like you are interviewing someone for a position. Do not settle for the first that you get.
Right.
Just like any other responsible organization, you would never select the first person that gives you a quote, right?
Right.
Go take a look around 2-3 advisors, and don't feel bad if they tell you no, because the way the industry is these days, advisors don't make the money they used to. So they're putting in minimums, like, you can't get service unless you come in with 150,000 or what have you to start. That does not mean you cannot find one. The younger advisors are eager to build their portfolios, and they know probably more than some of the old hoots that just won't retire.
Yeah.
So don't be afraid to get a young advisor, someone that can grow with your portfolio. But yeah, at the end of the day, you're going to have to trust your gut to some degree, but just make sure you can always check an advisor's registration. Like if you go on to the Ontario Securities Commission website, I think it's osc.something.something. You can look up any advisor's registration. You can see if there have been complaints against them. You can see the nature of the complaint. And if it has been resolved, you can see what the resolution was. A lot of times it's just fines, just like Scotiabank. But these people, advisors are really held to a high level of performance and all that jazz. But at least that way, if they've been caught, they've gotten a penalty.
So Ontario's Securities
Securities Commission.
Securities Commission.
Okay, I'm dropping it in the chat window.
Yeah.
And this is to check out who
to check on an advisor's registration.
Okay.
So it's a national registration search. I'm pulling it up for you. Okay, I'm gonna pop it in the chat. You see how fast I find that? These things used to be my life, man. What?
And there we go.
Let's put it in the chat window.
Yeah, and it tells you what they're licensed to do as well. Did you know that chances are very high that the person that you meet in the bank that's helping you open your bank account is not licensed to tell you anything about mortgages? I'm just saying. Yeah. And they also not licensed to talk to you about nothing about insurance. I'm just saying.
See, that's why someone else comes and signs the paper.
Yep. Oh, Lord help us. But the things we don't know. And you know what, too? I'm going to throw this one in there. It's not directly affiliated with investing, but somebody commented in my group. I asked, what are some of the stupid things you've done with your money before? And a lot of people are talking about these payday loans. Let me tell you, payday loans
get in a trap
are the devil's instrument, and I'm not even joking when I say that.
Can I say something about that on a social justice or injustice type?
Please
do. You talk about in the areas where
the areas where we grew up in.
Gosh, there's like 3 or 4.
As a matter of fact, I wanted to go just show that one of these days, because in the areas, these high risk areas or low income area, whatever you want the name that's out there for them, the liquor store payday loan
right next door,
right next to them. Right next to each other. Right.
Boom, boom. Yep.
Yeah. You go get the payday loan and go to the liquor store.
Yeah, and the payday loan is designed to leave you captive.
Yes.
Forever. I worked out the pay schedule for a $4,000 payday loan. If you were to just pay what their schedule is, and literally you'll be paying back over $1 million. Literally.
And not only that, you get tied in. Where, I remember when I started that back in the day, before I knew it, when I got paid, it was to pay back.
Yep. That's it.
And it was, my check was just.
And then you borrow again.
Yep.
Yeah.
We'll have to do a segment on that.
I think so. I definitely think so. Definitely. But one of the I want us to look at investing opportunities, and I'll throw this one out there for you. I think, KP, you have it up. Walmart is about to give Amazon a run for its money. Remember when I told you by the time you hear it reporting, it's old news?
Yeah.
It's an opportunity. An analyst has put out that in the last, financial meeting, Walmart is hinting that they're going to be launching their platform that allows users to put their stuff up for sale, and you'll have a subscription like $98
a year,
similar to Amazon Prime, for you to get access to this membership program that is being dubbed, it hasn't been official, Walmart Plus. So what does that mean? It means, and I'm pretty sure I'm going to prove it because I've got Walmart on my watch list. It means that from the time this report came out and probably before, you might see an uptick in people buying Walmart stock in anticipation that by the time the platform comes out, the price will start its climb. So you don't want to wait for the announcement that it's done. I am not telling anybody go buy Walmart stock. Don't get me in trouble. I'm showing you an example of when to take action, right? So it's there for us. Stay on top of these things that show us what's coming, not what has happened, right? And Amazon will get a run for its money. So
yeah, it says a subscription service will provide Walmart with a new steady stream of income. It could take that money, it could, but not saying they will, and use it to lower merchandise prices even more, boosting sales. Oh, okay.
Yep. And remember, the subscription, like right now, for Walmart to make money, somebody has to walk into the store, buy an item and pay for it and walk out. A subscription service says, no, I'm just going to give you that $98 so that when I want something, I can buy it at its regular price. No problem. You'll deliver it to me. No problem, blah, blah, blah. But this subscription requires nobody to walk into the store and buy merchandise. That's Amazon has locked that in since in the retail space. And it looks like Walmart might give them a run for their money.
Recorded report. Membership program will include fuel discounts, same-day shipping at no extra cost, and other sweeteners.
Sweeteners. Yes. And that's the part, because the person who shared that with me, she is like an Amazon, she teaches people how to invest in Amazon and all that, how to sell on Amazon and all that. And she's the one I says, well, the user thing gives Amazon leverage because I can go on Amazon and put my stuff up for sale. And she sent me a text back and she's like, oh, Walmart is bringing on third-party sellers. I'm like, okay, this just got real interesting. I am watching. I love watching these things, but there are ways we can participate, and I think we should. We got to look at that. And then the other thing, I think most of us are aware of real estate as the place to put our heads down, a place you can call your own. But we need to start looking at real estate as more than just that.
Can we take that opportunity to pivot then? Because you had like a bunch of questions from the last, our last interaction.
I had questions that I couldn't even answer because I think one of the things that I struggle with are the questions like one of those that came in our chat, in the comments. Where is the best place to buy? No, I don't know what that is for you, because the best place to buy is the place where you can live at peace. I don't know where that is. Right. I don't know what your credit looks like. I don't know how much reach you have with affordability. I don't know if you want a place for you to just live, or a place that you can live and have a second suite to invest. I don't know. I think, honestly, we need to get away from this cookie cutter type of advice. We want to do what the other person's doing. So because You heard the agent on CP24 say that the market in Brampton is hot. You think that that's where you have to go. Lord have mercy. Brethren, can I, here it is. Where was it I went? Was it Brighton that we drove out to last year? You can buy a house about an hour outside of Toronto for under $300,000 and get Toronto grade rates for rent.
Wow.
Why would I try to get a little corner of a grassy spot for $1 million and barely make it? Like, why? When I can go out, get an investment property. In fact, a lot of people buy their first house to rent and not to live.
Right.
I am encouraging my kids, as long as there's a room here, you can live here, but you're participating in real estate because it's a way for you to get involved. We need to stop this cookie cutter approach to advice.
Right.
There is no one size fits all, and get more strategic. Get more, oh, that's interesting. Like I referred a couple to Keisha the other day because they are in their mid 50s and they never knew that they could use their money to invest in real estate and never actually buy a house. Like, right? And they looked at me and their jaw dropped and they're like, really? Because they already have a rental property. They're not really looking to have too many other ones. They want to still participate in real estate because they get it, but they don't want another brick and mortar.
Yeah.
What opportunities are there? And you do it inside your RSP. Tax break, anybody?
Private lending. You got the money, use it, make your money work.
But nobody's putting that in their blog on the internet and saying to our community, you know what? You can't make it on your own. Let's have, check this. You guys know Susu? I'm telling you something I heard the other day. So this group of ladies that I spoke with.
Partner.
Listen, yes, all kind of name. The most recent one I heard, they call it Flower. Don't even get me started. I'm like, what? Anyway, this group of ladies, they realized they were doing Susu. And they realized that the person who was kind of organizing it realized how much money was going around and around and around. You know what these ladies did? A group of these ladies, they still do the Susu. They have put 2 down payments on 2 condos, one in Oakville, and I think the other one's in Mississauga or Etobicoke or something like that. Why aren't we looking at more this Susu business don't make no sense, because Susu don't move you forward. If you take the same money, put it under your mattress, you're gonna have the same exact amount. But what if we decided to pool our money and invest it? Mind blown. Our people now have opportunities. And I think real estate is so accessible to all of us that we kind of need to prioritize getting into it.
Yeah. And I'm going to say, even for me as a mortgage agent, there are clients who need money, a second mortgage to pay out their debts, stuff like that. And people like you and I, who have funds, those who are listening, if you have funds sitting in your account, if you have a line of credit, you can make that money work for you. It's private lending.
And it's in real estate. They're still protected. All of the protections of a regular mortgage or financial instrument will apply. So it's not any underhanded. You don't have no banker that could possibly run off with your money. You have legitimate, bona fide, take to court contracts that are enforceable for you.
Title.
Yeah, everything. So if they bail, you can take a quarter of the house. I don't know. But these are opportunities. What's the least amount, Keisha, that you guys would take to put into the private lending space, or do you have a minimum?
20. Around
$20,000.
Around 20. And it all depends too. I mean, if we have a client that all they need is a 10,000 second mortgage, right? That we can do as well. The last 2 weeks I've done private lending. Client last week, 60,000 they loaned through private lending. We've had 40,000, so different amount, there you're getting paid interest. You're also getting that lender fee up front as well. There are many ways to leverage your money.
And that's real estate. Some of us are so afraid we don't want to become landlords, but there are different ways to participate in real estate that will get you. Listen, there is no savings account giving you double-digit interest rate. Forget it. Like, no.
That's true.
And the potential for double-digit interest rates is very real in the private lending space. Very, very real. So imagine putting your money in short term. So I'm thinking 6 months to a year, and coming out with double-digit returns. And it is safe.
Yep.
Anyway, listen,
really. We got somebody coming up who deals with that. So we're gonna delve into that. But
dig into it. But I just want everybody as much as possible to, not make don't think real estate is unattainable.
Yeah.
Whether it's your first house, I think if you apply some strategy, if you can really look at, okay, what do I need? Because everybody thinks they just have to save. There are people who have down payments and still can't get a house because their credit is thin, or they don't have a robust enough credit
or affordability.
Yes. Yeah. And they can't get what they want. So you kind of have to look at all the moving parts. And shameless plug, I'm running a program to do just that. Yeah. Don't laugh, Wade. This is business, man.
No, he's not gonna say anything to you. He only has words for me. All right.
Oh, you.
You're all right, Adrian. You're okay.
Yeah. No kidding. But yeah, I think especially here's one thing I wanted to make sure of. I deliberately put people that look like me as the experts in this program, because I know what my experience was as an immigrant. It took me 9 years. It took us 9 years before we could get our first house. And coming from a place where I was brought up in a house we owned, rent was not a thing that I knew about, right? And coming to this country and having to live underneath in the ground, my mother freaked out when she came to visit. Your house is in the basement? Right? And there's nothing wrong with that, but it was different from what I was used to. So I think we need to apply some strategy to our real estate game, and that's the key. That's kind of what we're looking at with this program. It's fast track to first. I'm gonna pop the link here for more information because that's how I roll.
Yeah.
And the more of our own people we can get as homeowners, the better off we become as a people. And
When is this program? When are you running it?
The group starts in September, and it has a very reasonable entry point. Here's what I promise in this group. If you do what I say, you're going to own your first home in 3 years or less. I've done the math. I know the strategy. 3 years or less. And that's for people who've been trying for years to do it on their own. If you do what I say and what experts like Keisha and our realtor and our construction guys are saying, you will own your first home in 3 years or less, because who knows, you might not have the income. Why not your first property be one with investment potential? Why not?
Right.
That will help supplement some of that money you're going to have to pay for your mortgage. How about talking to the bank and talking investment as opposed to just house, right? There's strategy involved that I think we kind of need to explore. And it's time, like I say, no more cookie cutter,
Yeah. What about?
I would like for you to plug a little bit of motivation for some younger people. You remember the story that you told, with that young man who, I don't know what how far out of Toronto he was, but he started to save money and literally collecting rent. And can you just, I would love for you to inspire, because I think it's an inspiring story.
I love that you call him a young man. He was, he had his first, he was a landlord first at the age, I think, of 14. He had his first house in London, Ontario. And since then, this was on CBC. That's where I pulled the story from a few years ago. Since then, I think right now, I don't know now, but at that point he had about 3 houses where a 15-year-old boy is coming knocking on your door and saying, I'm collecting the rent. I'm here for the rent. You know, like if that was my mother, it's like, boy. But he get off my step. I'll tell you how they do it, because at 14 he cannot legally own the houses. But there is the opportunity to keep, it's called investment in trust for, so ITF. So essentially he simply did this. This boy would find broken things, fix it and sell it. Find a broken dresser, he'd fix it and he'd sell it. So he did that for years. He'd go around with his grandpa with his little wagon, and they'd, garbage day, find broken things or go to garage sales and stuff. Every penny that went into purchasing these houses, that boy saved it. So in London, I think his first home was like $100,000 and some odd, but that required him to save about $5,000 to $10,000 for his down payment. That is not unattainable for a young person who's focused, right? And he got his first house that way. And as soon as he turns 18, everything goes into his name 100%. It's already his. The parents are only being there to facilitate the transaction, but he owns it. And I think when we if we can inspire our children to kind of jump past the hurdles that we had to jump, right? Right. From the knowledge we have, they get to take leaps, whereas we were just crawling. And that was a big deal for me. I share it with all my young people that I get to speak with, because you know what? The Nike shoe that you want to spend $300 on, no. Unless you put it in the box, cover it, and you leave it there for 20 years, it probably is not going to be worth too much more than what you put in it.
It's going to dry rot.
Listen, like,
thanks, Wade, for sobering.
For real. That's a technical term. For real. But we have to, and even with, I mean, you can do that for a group of young people. The same way I'm encouraging adults to look at real estate as a group, you can facilitate that for a group of young people and get them started. Lord help us all. I'm hoping to, wherever these girls end up going to school for post-secondary education, their RESP, don't tell Mr. Trudeau, their RESP going to be used as a down payment for a house.
Well,
strategy, brethren, strategy.
Question. I have a question. You know, they have these programs that are out there, different people offer them to get people into their homes or real estate. These zero down strategies or programs that they have. I said, you mentioned it last week, you almost fell off your chair, but we didn't have time to elaborate on it. So, enlighten us.
Run, Wade, run. You're not getting no real estate.
I'm driving right now.
Well, floor it. You know, there is no zero down getting into the market.
So what's the catch?
What's the catch?
Yes.
I don't study them. I can tell you that. A lot of times what they're doing is they're going to hook you. Somebody is putting the zero down, but they're going to hook you for the repayment, and you're going to pay that down payment and lots more. Right? And that's where they catch us, because
so it's in the fine print.
They don't even hide it anymore. It's not so fine. Honest.
So could it be a case where maybe a private lender provides the down payment?
Somebody's providing it
into the contract.
But the problem is this: if you can't make the down payment, whose credit are they using? Is it your credit or someone else's credit? The contract, what kind of ownership documentation? What's the verbiage of that ownership contract? How do you exit this? And who takes it? Who takes the brunt of it? Let's say the roof needs to fix, or all of these things have to be worked through to ensure that you're not losing. But honest to goodness, I'll tell you straight, if you cannot afford the down payment and you have no savings on track, I don't think you should be owning a house. I'm telling you straight, home ownership, getting the down payment is only part of the issue. You know how when you're getting married, the wedding might take you a lot of money, but the marriage will cost you a lot more.
Oh yes. Oh yes. Wedding versus the marriage. Yeah.
Right? So getting the house is all fun and games, hunky dory.
It's just a start.
It's just the start. And if you're thinking of getting a house, you need to get your cash flow management in like on point now.
Right.
I always say to people, live like you're a homeowner.
In other words,
now like you're a homeowner.
Give the money navigator a call.
Yeah, man. Look, the phone's right here.
Listen, the trademarked money navigator.
Yeah.
You guys, what is the hang up with the trademark? Like seriously.
Nothing.
You know what?
Just ask Lincoln.
Ask Lincoln, okay.
Or Ford.
Yeah,
Fjord. As a matter of fact, there's a navigator right in front of me right now.
Yeah. It's rather underwhelming though, isn't it? It's so sad.
I know. Actually, no, that's an aviator. Sorry.
Oh, so even sadder. But no, seriously.
Sponsorship with that one. All right.
Yeah. I don't worry. I'll spot you a couple sponsor dollars. I don't know. But yeah, I think I get really, really passionate about these things because I hate to see us missing out on opportunities. And it doesn't get any easier, man. It doesn't get any easier. The sooner we can get our foot in the door, the sooner we get to thrive. Yes, literally make it over the threshold and get in there. And it doesn't matter if all you get is a 2x2. It doesn't matter if the handrail is shaky, and it smells kind of funny. I've been into some pretty funky smelling places. Oh my goodness. Wow. I went to see a house in Oshawa. And literally you had to put your you had to cover your feet and before COVID, we had to wear masks to go in there and you had to breathe through your mouth. It's no joke. It's no joke. And that thing still went for about $350, $360, I think.
Did you see the potential in the property?
Oh, absolutely. Because remember, my husband's a contractor, so we're not afraid to get something that's mashed up and beat up. But there are a lot of people out there looking for investment properties. So you kind of want to get there first. So make some relationships with the mortgage agents at the bank who handle foreclosures. The people that know about it before it hits the market. That's where you're likely to find some gems that might be available for some depressed prices. And you might have some opportunity there.
All right, and so okay, you're looking at investment properties or whatever the case might be, and you made the contact. How you get the money? Tell us how do we get the funds?
You go shake the tree you have in the backyard. You know
Call
what?
The money navigator.
Yeah, seriously, I did a little ebook on how to grow your own money tree. I tell you, it starts with the focused goal. It starts with making that home ownership dream a priority. So the savings for that has to happen before some of the other things that we spend our money on. You know what I mean? It means that instead of using if you are already a homeowner and you're looking for investment property, instead of using the line of credit to buy the next car, you're going to get a less expensive vehicle, maybe even take a loan for that car so that you leave that lump sum available for an investment when it shows up. Like I say, it's strategy, right? Yeah. So you'd you will not get far borrowing money to buy a house, but you can borrow money to buy a car. So the car is going to depreciate, the car is going to appreciate, the house is going to appreciate, right? So how are we lending? How are we borrowing money? Is there a strategy there? And do some automatic savings instead of having the money drop into your hand and then seeing it go. Ask your HR people if they can take a portion of your pay and split where the deposit goes. So have a $500 portion if you're, depending on how you're getting paid and what you're, have a portion of your pay deposited at this account and the balance go to that account. That way you don't have to move it. And that way, what
out of sight, out of mind.
What you see in your household checking account, you can use it for the household because the other money has already gone to your priority. So you're saving money that way. And if you need an accountability partner, if it's your spouse, your friend, or what have you, make sure that person is aware of what you're doing. And when they call and check on you and say, hey, did you move the money? Or did you save the money? Or whatever it is that you want to be held accountable for, don't lie. Tell the truth, right? I did it, or if I didn't do it, here's what happened and here's why. Commit to your, I know we have a lot of trouble keeping the promises we make to ourselves, but until we get out of our own way, we're not going nowhere, right? So
and TD Bank, I think they have something set up with their debit card as well, where every time you use that debit card, I think you can gauge how much money would actually be set aside in a savings.
They said it at like
$5. And how many times do we use our debit card? And by the time you look at the accumulation, oh wow, you know.
That has saved me in a couple times when I'm like, oh, there's no money. Seller set it up long time, and it's one only in his name, so I don't see it. I'm like, what's going on? But there are a time or two as an entrepreneur, sometimes the money flows real good, other times it doesn't flow so good. But it's nice to know you have a savings bucket here and a little thing here where you can bring the money in if you need it, and then watch that grow.
Is this a program where they round it up and to the next amount and they put it away?
That's one option.
So they round it up to the next dollar.
So the one at TD, the rounding to the dollar is one option. The one at TD does a per swipe amount that they move. So every time you swipe, they'll move 50 cents at the end of the day based on how many times you've used your card. So if you've gone to 6 different places and used the card 6 times, they'll move $3 out to a savings account of your choice inside a TD, and they'll have that grow there for you. You don't have to think about it.
All right.
So listen, different ways for the bank to get money to lend back to you.
Listen.
Don't start any new conversations, okay?
Yeah. KP wants to wrap this up because KP needs to go, and I'm hungry. But seriously, Wade, where are you going? You've been on the road for what? An hour and a half?
You want me to stop Facebook Live first? Or do you...
Yes. Do that.
Listen, all right, folks. Thanks for tuning in. We have Adriana Leo here, Navigator. You can always go back and watch the things if you didn't catch, all of it, or you're just coming. I see some people just jumping on now, right? This is Dollars and Sense, right? With myself, Wade, and Keisha. We have different guests on here, and we talk all things money, all things for financial on here, and we're trying to empower our community, empower the Black community. That's what we're trying to do. So that's what this podcast is all about.
Yeah.
We're going to sign off right now. We went over this a little, but we started a little behind. So that's all right. All right, folks. So catch you later. Any last words, Adri?
Listen, God is good to me, and all of the blessings he gives me so they can go through me. So I'm always happy to share. You guys keep on doing the good work. Whatever it takes, you keep spreading the word. And you know what? That's all we can do. We can give the information. It's up to those hearing it to act on it and do something for themselves. You know,
we've dropped quite a bit of things in the chat window too, so you know they can definitely reach out if they'd like.
For sure.
All right then, folks. Catch you all later. See you next week. Next week's Thursday.
All right.
1
Take care.
All right. Take care.
See ya.